Hello my friends, it's Gabriel with The Last Huntsman Outdoors here. Now this is going to be a tad bit longer video, but what this is going to be is my full, complete, detailed EDC. And what I mean by that is stuff that I have on my body, stuff that I have in my go bag, what I would consider more of my get home bag, and what I have in my vehicle. So I will be breaking this down. There's also going to be some caveats like, hey, some of this stuff will change based on the time of the year. I'll be kind of showing a few different things that I kind of switch in between, mostly just knives and stuff, but I'll be kind of going into kind of detail on everything that I like to carry. So stay tuned. And also real quick, so if you're a big knife guy like I am, or you like custom grips and stuff for your knives, be sure to check out Armitage Carry. He has some awesome sheaths for a lot of popular knives, and use coupon code LASTHUNTSMAN, all capital letters, and check out Carol's Customs for some custom scales, kind of like these. This is Armitage sheath and custom scales for the White River Knives Ursus Cub. And also use coupon code LASTHUNTSMAN, all capital letters, all one word, for a friendly little discount on both of these. Let's get to the video. All right, I'm going to be starting off with what I like to carry on my person on a day-to-day basis. So this is stuff that, this is kind of my bare minimum that I'll carry on me on a day-to-day basis here. So we'll just kind of go through. Always have my keys on me. Got a whole kind of conjointment of keys. I even carry a spare ferro rod. Of course, a wallet and a spare 15-round magazine. The magazine goes to the Glock 26. Now the holster that I am rocking out for the Glock 26 is the T-Rex Arms Raptor holster. I'm still kind of building an opinion on this one, but thus far I'm liking it. So generally in the gun itself, I will keep the Glock 26 magazine just because it's more comfortable to carry, and then I got a spare 15-round Glock 19 magazine. God forbid ever need that. Then in my right pocket, my knife. Now this has been my main folder for a while now. The Demco 80 20.5. Really like this one. Got a nice little upgrade coming for that before too long. And the flashlight is the Streamlight Macro Stream. Really enjoy that. I could easily charge that. It's fairly streamlined, and it fits in my pocket easily. Carry a Leatherman Bond, of course, a Bic, and a chapstick. Now I will show one other thing that I sometimes occasionally do too. All right, something else that I'll sometimes kind of switch to, and this is not a very common thing. 99% of the times I'm just carrying appendix carry, especially when I'm out at work or out in public and stuff. I like to just kind of be fairly low profile. However, sometimes when I'm out here on the farm, just kind of working around on the farm, and or I'm out hiking and stuff, sometimes a fanny pack is actually kind of nice to carry. So I have the Eberly stock here, and I kind of switched this up. I put a little 550 cord in there, so it's fairly easy for me to take my existing pistol with my existing holster, insert it into said fanny pack. Takes a little bit of finagling, but now the holster's retained. I could easily draw it. I could mount this bad boy on. and I could rock out fanny pack carry if I'm like out here on the farm or I'm hiking or something. Now, something else to consider too, though, is the reason why I wanted to have it to where I could carry the holster is just in case if I want to ditch the fanny pack for whatever reason, I could easily just switch right back to appendix carry. All right, and on kind of my 4 or 5 o'clock side here, I like to carry a fixed blade. Right now, lately, I've been carrying the Primitive Bear Knives, Hunter's EDC and Crewwear. Really like this knife. Be sure to go check him out. But I have a handful of EDC fixed blades, and what I like for a kind of a EDC fixed blade is something that's kind of in that like 3.5 to 4 inch range, and kind of less than 8 inches if I can get it. But I do have kind of a main 4 that I kind of switch between a lot. Probably the 2 that I carry the most is this Hunter's EDC and Crewwear, or this White River Knives Ursus Cub. These 2 probably get the most carry. And this one's rocking out the Armistice sheath with the Lucas Carroll custom grips on there. Another one that I like to carry quite a bit is the Very Good Knife Company Adventure. This one's in that good old crusty ADC RV2. Awesome setup, and as you guys may notice, I like to use a ulti clip. I clip it to just the edge of my pants and just tuck the sheath down into my pants, so when I throw my shirt on over it, you know, it conceals very well. And fortunately, I live in a good free state that I can conceal carry a fixed blade. And then another one that I will switch to is the SC3. The SC3 is, these 4 are my favorites to carry. This one's also rocking out an Armistice sheath and Lucas Carroll custom grips. Let's go check out what I carry in my backpack. All right, so now I'm gonna break down my backpack and what I carry in it. I don't try to load this thing down a whole lot because I kind of want some wiggle room, you know, to be able to stuff extra layers in if it's like cold out or something, or, you know, and quite frankly, if I need to try to, God forbid, ditch my vehicle and hike home, I don't want this thing to weigh too much. I do hike a lot of miles and stuff, and you know, I used to ruck a lot when I was in the Marines still, but I don't like to carry more than I have to, for sure. So we'll start off kind of a couple caveats. I live obviously out on a farm. I live out in the country, so I'm not trying to bug out per se. I'm kind of thinking of this pack more of my like get home bag. So this bag comes with me when I go to work. It stays in my vehicle every day. So if I'm, you know, 35-40 minutes out from home and something happens crazy and I can't drive for whatever reason, then this is kind of more to get me home type of thing. And that's how I look at it. And of course, you guys see it a lot on my channel because I kind of have it set up for my bushcraft type of stuff too. But a lot of the stuff that I bring out with me on a regular basis is stuff that I not only am familiar with, but also use. So the bag that I'm using, and I've switched bags over the years, but I've found that I like this one probably the most thus far, and it's the LA Police Gear Atlas pack. I'm actually fairly impressed with the quality, especially for the money. Like, this is right at like $100 pack, and honestly, I've had packs that are pushing $200, and I like this one better. So, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money to have a good pack. The LA Police Gear stuff I think is pretty good, but we're going to start breaking this pack down. I'm just going to break each compartment down and just kind of go through it. So in the front side here, I always keep some leather gloves. Just, you know, you don't want your hands getting shredded, that's for sure. And I've done that before. It sucks a lot, so I always try to keep some gloves in my pack. Decent spool of 550 cord. This is just cheap Walmart 550 cord, but it does the trick. Now this is just a cloth. You can use a schmog, a handkerchief, or whatever. And mostly this is just to kind of like, if I need something to kind of, you know, wipe myself off with, or more often than not, if I'm making a lot of like tinder and stuff, I like to lay this down and catch a lot of the tinder. So I just kind of keep a cloth in there. This one's actually from Primitive Bear Knives. He kind of sent it with one of his knives. It's kind of a pretty neat looking thing. I also try to keep some bug spray in my pack too. Then I kind of try to have multiple redundancies in here too. So I do keep a work sharp field sharpener. Here's a small little ferro rod and a little sharpening rod. So I try to kind of keep that stuff, you know, as little redundancies. And sometimes I'll put some redundancies in different pouches and stuff. All right, so something else that I've totally forgot. I forgot to open up one of my compartments, but I do keep a spare 17 round Glock mag and a spare box of 109 millimeter in my go bag as well. So that's just a little bit of ammo redundancy, just in case. And something else too to kind of make mention is when I travel outside of town, like if I'm going to be out away from my house for a few days or something, or a little farther out, sometimes I will pack with me a PCC 9mm carbine that can interchange mags with my Glock. Now this pack also kind of has this opening here, so I could use that to stuff like a jacket in there if I need to, or sometimes I'll even stuff my canteen. Now on this front smaller admin pouch here, I keep a legit lensatic compass in here, so I could kind of shoot an azimuth or kind of know what direction I'm going and stuff. I used these quite a bit when I was in the Marines. I was a 0341 infantry mortarman, so I shot some azimuths in my day. I keep some spare charging cables, and I keep an Anchor brand battery bank. I'm actually very impressed with this battery bank. I've had a handful of battery banks over the years, and honestly, I don't think I've had a better one than this one. This one's got some years on it, but I could still charge my phone and flashlight and all kinds of stuff, and that's what all the extra cables are for, is I can charge my phone or my flashlight, or charge my rechargeable CR123 batteries for like my weapons lights and stuff like that. Having stuff like that is pretty nice, and I will show in a moment that I have kind of an extra redundancy for this. Now, one side of this here, I have my Silky Gone Boy. This is plenty soft for me if I need to make like a quick little shelter and stuff, but you know, I don't really need anything too big. And then in the other side, I just honestly leave this side empty, so you know, I'm not loading this thing down just hardcore or anything. And I will say, I probably have quite a bit of wind out here. It's like 95 degrees and windy, so the wind is actually kind of making it tolerable out here. But I live in the Midwest, so that's just kind of how it is. So I'll go ahead and open up the pack here into the main compartment. Now, I mentioned with the battery pack that I have a little bit of redundancy. And what I was talking about that is I also have a Anchor brand fold out solar panel system. And so what I usually do is I use this to charge the battery pack, and then I could use the battery pack throughout the night and stuff to charge everything else. That's just kind of how I use it, but this will also keep you, like, your phone and stuff like that charged. And I know some people are going to be like, blah blah blah, EMP this and you know, end of the world and all that. For most realistic situations, your phone's probably going to be the best way to get you home or out of the situation you're in. So having means to keep that charge is probably going to be the best. So this is my fire kit. It's a decent sized pouch. I try to keep things like in pouches. So in my fire kit, I keep a good little chunk of fat wood, some extra fire steels, some little tinder can, some rope to burn. Some matches, a spare lighter. I keep quite a bit of just stuff in there. I'm not going to like totally break that all down, but that's just kind of generally what I keep in there. This in a waterproofing bag. It's kind of a crappy waterproofing bag in all honesty, but I just keep some toilet paper in there because, well, if you ever have to go take a crap out in the woods, it's kind of nice to be able to just use toilet paper. Now I do keep this can in here, so if I need to, I can boil water or cook food and stuff in there. It's just a cheap little Stanley one from Walmart, if I recall right. It's nothing fancy, but it does the trick. Keep me a hatchet in here. This is the Hardcore Hammers. I think it's Supernaturalist hatchet, yeah. And this one's actually been fairly good for me. I'm fairly impressed with it. I got a full review on it. And I do keep me a little bit bigger knife in here too, just in case if I need something a little bit more robust than just my EDC fixed blade. Knife I've been carrying is the SE6, so it just kind of goes in my get home bag. SE6 is a very reliable knife. I've got a lot of use and a lot of hours with this knife, and it's also rocking out some Carroll's Customs grips on it. Now I have a couple redundancies here. This pouch here is full of water filtration. I have just one of these Sawyer minis in here, and in a separate pouch I have this live straw. So, you know, generally I like the Sawyer better than the life straw, but just in case if I'm in a pinch or something, I got the life straw still. But I generally try to use the Sawyer, and then I just, you know, use the little bag and pour that water into my canteen. I also keep like a full medical kit in here. There's tourniquet, gauze, wraps, band-aids, boo-boo kits, all that good stuff. I'm not going to unpack all that, but this stuff is pretty handy to keep on you. Like this bag comes out with me even if I'm just going out in the woods and stuff, because, you know, as you guys know, I have my most famous video that has, I think it's well more than 500,000 views, is where I slashed my arm open accidentally with the Puzon Wilderness Bowie. And this was pretty handy to have, just because, you know, I was able to stuff that with gauze and wrap it up with Coban and hike on out of the woods. And it, you know, it was a couple-mile hike. And so having a good medical kit in your pack is good to get, pretty good to have. I also keep just a old tarp. This is just a marine surplus tarp, nothing fancy. Honestly, I could probably upgrade to something better, but as you guys might notice, I use a lot of surplus stuff. There's nothing wrong with surplus stuff. I'm familiar with a lot of it, so actually I'll be showing some more surplus stuff later. And I keep 2 broken down MREs in my pack, so it's not a lot of food, but it's enough food that if I had to ruck it home for a couple days then I can have just a little bit of sustainment to get me home. So like I said, this ain't my like bug out bag. I'm kind of more of a get home bag type of guy, just because my bug out is my home, you know, where I live and what I have available to me as a homesteader, a farmer, a prepper type of guy. Most people would like to bug out to where I live. So this is just my get home bag. So that's, for the most part, my bag. Let's go to things that I carry in my vehicle. All right, so this is all the stuff that I usually keep in my vehicle as I go places, or my just day-to-day driving. Now, I will say I'm not going to show you guys what vehicle I use for a couple reasons. One, for my own kind of operational security type of thing. I just don't want everybody knowing what I drive. And two, I actually have two different vehicles that I kind of switch between on a semi-regular basis. So, and I really honestly think it's kind of irrelevant, because you can do all this whether you're driving, you know, a Prius or a Tundra. So one of the things that always comes with me on a daily basis, even out to work with me, is I keep a gallon canteen with me. Sometimes in the summertime I'll bring a spare half gallon, and in my vehicle I always keep, you know, 2 or 3 gallons of just water jugs, because, you know, water is one of those things, especially when it's hot, that you just cannot deal without. Now, just in case if, you know, the grid goes down or something, or I don't have service or whatever reason, I always keep some maps on me too. Now, that kind of tells you guys what state I'm in, but I don't really kind of keep that a secret. Missouri's pretty wide and vast. Now, I do keep a jack with me. Now, I know you could always use the cheap little scissor jacks and stuff that comes with the car, but I'd much rather have something like this. I always keep some ratchet straps with me, just in case if I have to strap something to the top of the vehicle or whatever. Now, I'm also going to kind of throw this caveat out there too. I am not super mechanically savvy. I know how to fix some very basic things with a car. I can, you know, change oil, fix tire flat and stuff like that. And that's about it. Like, I'm not like some super mechanic, but I do keep a little air compressor, some that whole bag is full of stuff to fix a tire. I keep a millimeter wrench set with me. That is a little scanner to tell you what might be going wrong with your car, because quite frankly, me and my wife both drive 20-year-old cars, and you know, a lot of people likes to ask like how I got so much money and blah blah blah. One, I don't make that much money, I promise you guys. But secondly, a lot of it is I don't have to make a lot of money. I just try to live more modestly. Just a spare thing of bug spray, especially in the summertime, and especially with this much rain that we've been getting, the mosquitoes and ticks and everything's been kind of stupid. Like to keep a good ice scraper. Now, as you guys may know from my war club video, this is my war club. Why do I have a war club in the car? I don't know. It's good checking tires, I guess. I do keep a cold steel. This is the Spetsnaz shovel, if I recall right. I found that this thing could actually be kind of handy if you're like get your vehicle stuck or something like that, or you need to scoop some snow out of the way. It's handy to keep that. I actually keep a decent tire iron and just a way to start my vehicle just in case. But yeah, fairly simple. All right, my friends, that's my full EDC loadout. That's everything that I like to carry on my body, how I like to carry it, what I like to carry in my get home bag, and what I keep in my vehicle. So, you know, I try to keep it fairly simple, stupid and sweet, basically. I'm kind of curious, what do you guys like to carry? Also, you know, I kind of throw out the caveat too, that in the winter time and as seasons change, sometimes I'll carry more, definitely more stuff in the vehicle. Like I'll carry, you know, a spare wool blanket, and I'll carry, you know, an extra coat and spare wool socks and stuff like that. Like I'll carry that stuff in my vehicle if it's winter time, just in case. You know, a lot of people don't realize if your car gets down or you run off the road or something like that, you might be there for several hours. And so having stuff to kind of keep you warm in that type of situation is key. So curious to hear your guys' thoughts. With all that being said, be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless, and carry on.